Saturn. Saturn is all about status. Saturn is Saturday. Responsibilities, duties, obligation, goals. And of course, Saturn represents the snake, the serpent, the flesh. Also, Saturn is all about equilibrium, status, goals, orienting, business. Of course, down to that T. You also got that T there. So they love to take their time. They love to work on things. Even though they're not patient, but then of course they're going to basically make sure they get things done on a day-to-day basis. And of course, when it comes to Saturn, Saturn undergoes a whole lot. Saturn likes to be underneath taking everybody's responsibilities and status and career goals, business, and of course they love power and control. Also, Saturn is very reliable, and of course they love to relate this all over the world. Saturn is also a feminine yin sign, a earth sign. So of course, this is all about physicality, and of course, water. They need that because of course Saturn can get too dry at times, too down to earth. Like where's the love at? Where's the emotional connection? Feel me? But yeah, everybody is different. But when we got Saturn and Taurus, Saturn and Taurus represents your status, your career and your goals, your duties and obligations. When Saturn is in Taurus, these people are very reliable. And of course, these people are very reasonable. These people contain a whole lot of energy. These people are very loving, very caring too at times. And these people, they go within. They deal with the five senses: hear, feel, smell, see, touch. And of course, it's all about taking their time with things. They don't like to rush things. When they're doing something, they're going to make sure they building that shit right. Whether it's a person, place, thing, business, corporation, goal, or plan. That's a Saturn and Taurus duty and obligation. These people contain a lot of energy. At times, it may seem like they lazy. It may seem like they lazy around, but get them to do some work and pay them. I guarantee you, you're going to see a different side of this personality trait. Saturn and Taurus, you know, the lady, especially if it's a woman, you know, the Saturn and Taurus women, they go very deep when it comes down to they love, they care, especially for home and family and things of that matter. They take these things very serious. They will protect them. Also, Saturn and Taurus, you know, they gotta also be careful because that's a feminine. So of course, you're gonna be looked upon as being used for your materials, being used for your things that you have into the world, and of course that's how it play out. But watch, be very careful. These persons, if the person don't match your vibe, don't match your vortex, don't even waste your time, don't bother. And of course, when you got another spectrum here, we got the Saturn and Taurus for the man. See, the man is very down to earth. He's very serious, very, very reliable. And of course, go through a lot of power control issues. And of course, they don't really look at defeat or being taken advantage of as something to just lay back and just relax on. These people just keep going with the flow. And of course, they're very reliable, very trustworthy. Saturn and Taurus people, you know, they worry too much about health. And of course, comfortable, not health, but of course, comfortable. Yeah, well, health is wealth. Wealth is health. So, of course, they worry a lot about these things, too. Their well-beings about the world. And, of course, the amount of resources they're going to basically be predicated towards worrying about these things if it's not fulfilled. And, of course, them going all out and not having enough tools about things. Them also doing things in the kindness of their heart. They also question a whole lot. And, of course, they take their time with doing things. That's what makes them even more like reasonable and usable, because these people, they're not gonna rush something. They're gonna make sure everything is being looked at and viewed at in a very meaning and reasonable perspective. They're not gonna put themselves in harm's ways by just rushing something or trying to get something done that quick. And of course, this is what's gonna throw them off. They love to take their time. If you try to rush them, then you're gonna have a problem on your hands that you can't deal with, because you're gonna see the other side of them. Just give them time. For me, they're trying to like develop something. Of course, if you got a fixed Earth sign, Earth is very hard. Earth is very 3D. This is like low vibrational, especially coming down here. It's very low dense. So things take its time to manifest down here. And of course, we're talking about a fixed sign that's fixated in their own way of doing things. especially in one manner. If it's not fully reciprocated, then of course that's what's gonna happen. Also, Saturn and Taurus people, y'all gotta watch out for your throat. Your throat is very sensitive. Your neck is very sensitive too. Also, you may go through a lot of experiences and limitations and restrictions and bounds when it comes to your financial gains and your security in your home and your safety, because you're being tested when you got Saturn here. Saturn is testing you. And life is a test in general, and of course, if you could pass the test and basically go above your perspective on these beings, and of course, you're going to be able to actually accumulate everything. Instead of saying you ain't the body, you just here to experience. The moment you get lost into this shit, the moment you start stressing and worrying about the wrong things, that's the moment you're gonna basically put that heavy ass Saturn on your back. And you're gonna be carrying out all the duties and obligations. Remember, the devil is the mind, so of course, if you put too much detail and get too much logical, then these shits can basically overtake you and overburden you, and of course, put too much wear and tear on your soul. So try to find an equilibrium in the balance stage where you can basically feel free, and of course, not to stress over the wrong things. And of course, you don't really like associating yourself or being out there. You're very down to earth, and you take status and career and business goals very serious. So you're not really the lovey-dovey type of person unless you got something to basically walk on. But everything ain't really about material gain. Try to get more into your spiritual side, which is your opposite perspective. Get more into your emotions. Try not to get too over desirable or overused when it comes to your desires and shit like that, because you're going to basically get overtaken by these things. These things going to wash you away. And of course, you're going to attract everything that you want, need, and deserve in this world. But of course, everything needs to be taking its time. And of course, you got Saturn here. So Saturn is going to basically be on your neck. Saturn is going to be on your back about taking care of business, taking care of things, and making sure that everything that you're doing got to have a meaning, got to have a purpose. And of course, you got to be practical. And of course, you got to be consistent. Of course, you got to be persistent. And of course, you got to work on yourself every day. But of course, that's Saturn and Taurus, people. Try to watch out for too much over dependency. And of course, you're rich already. You're successful. You just experience it. Now, if you believe in that, you're going to attract everything. If you don't believe in that, you're going to have a problem on your hands that you can't deal with.